place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
And JJ Buck.
Well, it was soup dominant yesterday, but maybe not the way I thought. I don't know what it was like in your house. And maybe because you could watch it all. But when I got home last night, my daughter was sitting in the house, working on something and watching hoops. Like, all right, usually that's a good thing. And it was a good thing this time. But it wasn't the hoops you thought. Good morning, boys and girls, and Merry Wednesday, opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, how you living?
What it do?
You all right? Got a 3-2 lead? Feel better than you did when you were down 2-0? Now if you can get the Avs turned around.
No, feel worse.
Yeah, now if you can get the Avs turned around. Well, I just want to make sure you feel okay about that 3-2.
That is one of the craziest things I've seen in sports in a while.
It is. It is. So I watched until I fell asleep, and I watched the back end of the Knicks game. But I got home last night, and my child is sitting there. Hey, Dad. Hey, babe. And she's got hoops on. What do you think she's watching?
Caitlin Clark.
No doubt. And it hit me square in the face. Now, my kid watches hoops because she's my kid. My kid watches football. She watches sports because we have it on while she's been doing homework, she's grown up in that environment. But I can't tell you that there's been 5 times that I've come home and she's been there, that she just decided to turn on a game, that she went and found it. And that's, dude, it hit me, not that I needed to be made aware, but what Caitlin Clark and this whole movement has done. Normally, if I'd have come home, she might have had some music on or might have had her earbuds on. The TV wouldn't have been on. She'd have been sitting in that chair, and she'd have been working on, she was putting out a release for a launch party, by the way, for a magazine she's edited. But she had the game on, and we watched the whole thing. And it hit me. Did you guys watch it?
I did watch.
You had that on instead of the Knicks, or did you split screen it?
I had both on.
Okay.
I did.
Yeah, we just had the one. And it was fascinating. It was kind of, I'm not going to lie to you, it's what I expect. It is going to be a learning curve. And if you are used to, like you are, if you watch Caitlin Clark play basketball, watching her be dominant offensively and always one of the, if not the best player on the floor, it's going to be a minute. She had 10 turnovers. And some of them were forced, and some of them were, I thought, nerves and just the speed of the game. Just picking up her pivot foot and walking. Just the not as confident, the transition. As Diana Taurasi said, man, now she's in the pros. She's playing with grown-ass women. And she had 20 points last night. 10 turnovers, the most she's ever committed in a basketball game that we are told. And they lose 92-71. There's a reason, by the way, the Fever had the first pick of the WNBA draft. She got in foul trouble. It was kind of what I expected her debut to be. She scored some points late. Looked like she was trying to feel her way through. And I'm going to guess Connecticut, and by the way, they're pretty good. That was their focus. She's not going to beat us. We are not going to be clowned on SportsCenter all night and watch her go for 40.
I think last night was a great night for the WNBA because so many people tuned in for Caitlin Clark, but then they realized, oh, this league is pretty good. Yeah. Like, Caitlin Clark is going to be good. She's going to score a lot of points. She's going to get her teammates involved. But then you also are watching a game in which you had DeWanna Bonner become the 5th all-time leading scorer in the league. Alyssa Thomas dropped a triple-double on them. So you realize, oh, there's some decent talent in this league, and it's about expectations. And of course, you're going to tune in for Caitlin Clark. That's why there was over 8,000 people in attendance for the Sun in their opener, and that's why those games are going to be, the sellouts for a lot of these teams throughout the season. But if you tune in for Caitlin Clark, hopefully you just get a little bit of what they're trying to do on the floor, because it is Riley Check. You're a fantastic scorer. Caitlin Clark's going to be a great player, but these are pros for a reason. Yeah,
and they've been doing it, and they've been doing it at a different level. To your point on the crowd, 8,910, almost 9,000 people, and it might not sound like a lot to you. It is a sellout, and it is the first home opener sellout for the Connecticut Sun since their very first ever game in 2003, which was 21 years ago. That's what she did. Now, I don't know what the ratings are going to be. I'm really, really, really interested. I know I said this yesterday, and it kind of makes me think even more. I want to see what the numbers were up against the NBA. Because I think after that game was over, or as it became over in the last 5 minutes, did people flip over to the Knicks and Pacers? And after it was over, did you flip to Knicks and Pacers, or did you stay for Aces and Mercury? What'd you do? I mean, I didn't watch the Aces. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the whole game.
I didn't.
But
yeah,
because they actually, Phoenix, even without Brittany Griner, played well, made it interesting.
So it's kind of, again, my house. So we watched till the very end. And I didn't split screen it because I knew she wanted to watch it, and I knew it was a big deal. And as soon as the game ended and they did the post-game interview, she's like, "Here, Dad, want the butler?" We call the remote the butler. So that's when she was able, okay, here, you can watch what you want now in your house. Right? That's how that went. And it was, I'm going to guess that happened all around America last night. Don't you think? Kids, especially girls, or I guess my daughter's now a woman legally, right? But girls, kids, women, men probably watched more of Caitlin Clark. Now, I was checking the score on my phone of the Knicks game, and maybe if it was closer, I'd have gone upstairs and watched it. But it was something else, man. Really, really want your thoughts. I know you saw some of it. If you did, you saw the highlights. The big story today, and we're going to get into it, is Nikola Jokic last night going off for 40 and really having his way with the Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA and how that thing's turned around. But I think, I don't know, the bigger story in the bigger picture is that. And they'll have their home debut on Thursday, and they'll pack that place, and that's the reason the Knicks and Pacers are going to have an extra day off, which certainly helps the Knicks, I think. Because you don't think so?
No, they moved this game up.
They moved this game.
Caitlin Clark's debut to Thursday. It was supposed to be Friday usually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Pacers were going to have that arena. There was going to be that many days off anyway?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But they're in the same arena on Thursday. We're here for it at 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610 is the Sports Animal text line. It is also our phone line. That's where you can get a hold of us. Emails come in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Of course, we're on the video. You can watch us. ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26. We are on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM, and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. Tons of hoops today. We got, JJ, the schedule's trickling out. You're going to get an NFL schedule here in about 11 hours, a little less than 11 hours. You're going to have your whole thing laid out for you, and you can plan your entire fall and what you're going to do on Christmas Day and where you're going to be on Thanksgiving and who you're going to watch and when the international, you got all that stuff coming. When the Saints will play the Buccaneers and everything. So that's coming your way later today. But we are getting some drip. The PGA Championship starts tomorrow, so we're going to get into that. Let's take our first break. When we come back, JJ, it was Nikola Jokic. He's the MVP, and I don't know what flipped with that team, but as you just said, it's one of the most amazing things we've ever seen, and it's like watching two completely different series. The first two and the next three, not over yet at 3-2, but boy, the champs are tough to knock out. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Show that shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, show that you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make him happy back home, Captain.
Who's that?
That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
Stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Ay, mijo, where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together
Pull together.
to make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Reaper.
All right. It's crazy. Everybody's talking about it. No, not just Caitlin Clark. I mean, that too. Just the transformation, the difference in the Nuggets in game 1 and 2, or the Wolves for that matter. But I think this is more, because we always talk about when you watch something and you see dramatic swings. When we watch a team come back from 25 down, is it a collapse or is it a comeback? And I think this is the same relative conversation. When you watch a team battle back from 2 down and get beat and handled, I don't want to say dominated, but handled at home, and then come back and win the next 3 in, again, not dominating, but convincing fashion. You talk about, is it more collapse or comeback? Is it more about this team or that team? JJ, to me, this has been more about the Nuggets playing differently. This has been more about, and I give it to Michael Malone for taking Jamal Murray off the ball. I think it was a really, and they talked a lot about it on the broadcast last night. This is Nikola Jokic getting clowned, and I don't know how much he hears, but he wins the MVP right after they lose their second game at home, and people are going, really, that's the MVP? And turned around and said, yeah, I'm the MVP, and just dominated Rudy Gobert last night. JJ, to me, this has been more about the Nuggets and how they, I don't want to say flip the switch, but sure as hell look like a different team, and dare I say, look like the champions, the defending champions, and you're going to have to take it out of our cold, dead hands.
You can use the word dominated when you have games in which the Timberwolves won by 26, the Nuggets won by 27.
Okay.
Like that's, and especially in a series that these teams at their best are in the conversation for top 3 or 4 teams in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And to have swings like that, it was really hard to wrap your mind around how that was happening in the series, to see the way the Nuggets responded to win 3 in a row. And even if you go back to game 1, it was 106-99. It didn't look that close. They were a team that was physically dominated by the Timberwolves, looked slow, looked small, and then to come out and put on a performance that, hey, I didn't see it coming. Like, you can keep telling me they won a championship, but that obviously didn't matter the first 2 games. So to me, it goes back to the character of the players and the coaching staff, being the small tweak of, hey, let's take a little bit off Jamal Murray's shoulders. Because to me, the difference maker in this series, Aaron Gordon.
No doubt.
Not just bringing the ball up the court, but his offense, his aggressiveness, and the fact he's their best defender. He can guard 1 through 5 on the floor. And it's also the defensive changes. And what you're seeing out of Denver, they're switching a lot less. They're doing it late last night, but they're switching a lot less. So they're getting out of the mismatches that they're putting themselves in a lot early in the series. And they're throwing double teams at Anthony Edwards, just giving him different looks.
So I agree with all that. And I can't agree with you more. And I've mentioned Aaron Gordon, I think, after almost every game. The way he's played, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists last night. He was amazing. The Jokic, I just watched a highlight package on the screen that was Jokic. And I'm going back to the conversation we had yesterday. And Edward, who's a caller to the show, said, these guys, recognizable games, and it's Edwards and it's Tatum and it's whoever. Again, if you'd have silhouetted that, not shown me who the person was, I mean, it's the most recognizable game in the game right now is Nikola Jokic. It's the most unique. Who plays like that?
No one. That's the thing. I think the recognizable is how everyone plays. That's the most unique way to play basketball.
Okay, and it's an interpretation of words. That's fine. They were saying yesterday, I think it was Reggie Miller, who said he's got a combination of the Dream Shake with Hakeem Olajuwon. He's got Kareem's skyhook. He's got Tim Duncan's flip. He's got, but by the way, he shoots the 3 better than any of those guys ever thought about stepping outside and doing it. He is, I'm not going to crown him, and I don't know when it's all done. And I'm going to guess he'll never be in the conversation. And he'd have to win 3 more to be in the conversation. I mean, is he in the conversation when it's all done if he continues at this pace is the best ever? I'm not putting him in there yet.
He won't be in that conversation because he won't have enough championships.
Because he won't win enough championships. Okay.
But the trajectory is on what he's done. When we're talking big men in basketball, he's put himself with Kareem, Russell, Wilt, Shaq.
Yeah.
Like, and
Hakeem,
I think
Hakeem Olajuwon.
I think he's going to pass Hakeem.
Yeah, that's probably right.
I think he's going to pass the Spurs guys, even as great as they were.
I agree. I agree. And I think because none of those guys, can step away from the basket like he could. Certainly not out to three-point land and be the threat that he was. Now, Kareem's day, I think, was there even a three-point shot. It's certainly not in Wilt's day. Wilt would have perfected it. I promise you, Wilt in the 100-point game, granted, he scored around the rim, and he was like you and me playing Nerf against your kid, right? It was a different world. But I look at what he's doing, and it's a 3-time MVP who is in his prime. How old is he? 28-ish?
And it's also, he has a skill. When you look at the way he orchestrates a basketball game.
29. He's 20. He just turned 29. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Oh, and by the way,
it's one thing.
He's the best passer out of all those.
Yeah,
big men.
the orchestration of what he does. It's one thing when you dump the ball inside and you're playing in the high post, and all those big guys could handle the basketball. Obviously, it wasn't just. And even I was surprised last night when they showed the graphic on TNT that I know Shaq played a lot of postseason basketball games.
Yes,
which that adds to his numbers, but Jokic just passed Shaq in postseason assists. So, it shows you just the ball that's running through these guys' hands. But you're talking about you put him in the high post, and he's dictating everything that's going on.
I hate recency bias. You know that. But take Bill Russell, and all we've ever, you and I, all we ever saw Bill Russell, and this is where I'll lean on a guy like Adolph or something. I never saw him play. I've seen highlights of Wilt. I saw Kareem. I saw Shaq. I saw, all the guys since then. Like Kareem. What was Kareem better at than Jokic? Back to the basket, I'll give him that. Like low post offense, I'll give Kareem that. Although it's hard to. But who of all those big men, and again, I didn't see Russell. I didn't see Wilt. Who's a better passer? Out of all of them, who's a better passer? Who involved his team more? Kareem, Wilt, Shaq, Russell, Olajuwon. Who was a better shooter outside of 15 feet? Who's any of them better than him? I'll give you there were better rebounders, better defenders. That's why he's in that conversation. I know we're having the wrong conversation right now because they're up 3-2 and they got a big one coming up, and this series isn't over yet. It's just not. They got to go back up to Minnesota and win a game. But I'm just the body of work over the last 4 years, and he's 29 years old. There's no reason to think he's not going to continue to get better. Is it absurd?
It's not absurd. Now that it's just the way he plays overall, because he doesn't want to shoot the three. He's only shooting 28% in the series. Like, he hit 2 last night. He hit the one at the end of the shot clock over Rudy Gobert. Made it seem like he's been doing a lot more from the perimeter, but up until yesterday, he hit 2 3-point shots over the last 3 games.
But he's 2 out of 3. My point is when he needs to. I agree with you. He doesn't want to. That's not his game. That's not where he loves going. But he can. And over his career, he's hit big threes in big moments. I just look at it, and it's amazing. And then, he was up against the Defensive Player of the Year last night. And he goes for 40. And he shoots the ball insanely well. And it's amazing. 15 of 22 last night. He was 8 of 9 when
Biggest
Gobert
thing
was
is
the primary.
0 turnovers.
Which was killing him in game 1 and 2. I will tell you, I don't think it's over. I think Minnesota's got another swing in them. But boy, oh boy, I don't know what demoralizing means sometimes. I told you after game 2, I thought Denver's spirit was snapped. I did. I thought, and I know you did. It looked like Minnesota broke their spirit. And if they win this series, the Nuggets, Michael Malone gets a ton of credit. Does he not?
Absolutely.
And I remember you saying, and it was a comment that we didn't really talk about.
It wasn't. It was a fan frustration comment.
Okay, because it was right as we were going off the air. We didn't talk about it.
The Nuggets don't operate that way.
Yeah, and
about firing.
Yeah, you said Michael Malone's in trouble. I'm like, wow, caught me on. We never really got deep into that. If they turn this thing around, look, it's Jokic, it's Gordon, it's Murray, it's all right. But whatever Michael Malone did, and
he
part
told
of
them
it,
how bad they were.
He told them how bad they were.
Let the world tell them.
But he made adjustments too. It's not just let me tell you what's going on. Taking Murray off the ball was a big deal.
It's the right move, and Jamal handled it well because everything that went down. Game 2, thinking we cannot. There's a chance that Jamal Murray doesn't play Game 3.
Because we thought he was going to get suspended. Yeah.
Potential suspension out there.
Yeah.
Taking him off the ball, kind of less Murray, more everyone else has worked in this specific matchup against Minnesota.
It's something. It really is astonishing watching the change in what goes down. And again, to lose the first 2 of a series, it's tough to come back from. To lose the first 2 at home, it is very, very rare. Not never, but very, very rare. And that's what they're on the brink of now. After winning 3 straight, they won 2 up in Minneapolis, came back and continued to win last night. Again, the number last night in Colorado, 112-97. The Nuggets beat Minnesota, so it's 3-2, headed back up. Aaron Gordon, 18 and 10. Jamal Murray had 16 points. The story was Nikola Jokic. And it was a clinic, man. It was so fun watching him get the ball. Because the creativity in his offensive game and stuff that you just throw up on the playground and watch this dude hit regularly. I mean, falling away, underhanded, hook shots, threes, floaters. He's insane, dude. 15 out of 18 from the field last night. And I don't know. Is anybody all that noise that was about a week ago about him, people clowning him for being MVP? It's really got quiet on the Twitter, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
I mean, where'd all those people
now it's
go?
Rudy Gobert. That's the deal with it. Saying you're the defensive player of the year. Okay.
Yeah, because the best player in the world's eating your lunch. Is he the best player in the world right now? I think he's the best player in the world.
This is an in the moment conversation.
Yes,
because it was Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, about a week ago.
Jalen Brunson has flirted with that
a couple days ago,
and Jokic woke up again this morning going, feels good.
I'm not telling you the best player ever. And overall, is he better than LeBron James? Probably not. But right now, is he the best player in the world? Yes, is the answer, right? That conversation about who would you take that we had last week to start a franchise, well, it'd be Anthony Edwards or would it be Wembanyama? This dude's 29 years old, man. He is in his prime. He led a team to a championship last year. Not a big reason right now to think they're not on that path again. The answer is yes. He is the best player in the world. Is he playing in the Olympics? Do we know? The Olympics could be something, by the way. Because Team USA is good, but there's good players everywhere. And I think we've had this conversation plenty of times. Many of the best players in the NBA are not American-born players. All right, when we come back, the other one, Jalen Brunson's back too. He's pretty good too. He's pretty damn good. And the Knicks go home after getting beat twice on the road. That's a home win series. Everybody wins on the road at home there. Knicks come back and solve the problem. Is that one over? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM. An AM 670 Sports Animal.
If New
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Clark scored 20 points. She turned the ball over 10 times. Her team, the Indiana Fever, lost to the Connecticut Sun, 92-71. Many of you watched that. I can't wait to see the numbers. Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut yesterday. The opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Nuggets beat the Wolves last night, 112-97. It ended. What time did it end? I'm not going to lie. I dropped.
Like 10:45.
I felt like about 10:30 I fell. I woke up with the TV on at some point. And then the early game in New York, 121-91. The Knicks beat the Pacers by 30 last night. That's been just a bizarre series. Blowout after blowout, different way. New York's up 3-1. They're headed back to Indianapolis. Jalen Brunson had 44 points on 34 shots. He went for 28 in the first half. It's the highest in any half for a Knicks player in a playoff game in the play-by-play era, which is considered 1996. It's the 5th time in this playoff run that Jalen Brunson has hit the 40-point mark, and that puts him in some pretty good company. It's the most since LeBron did it, and he had 8 back in 2018. I saw a list of guys who have had 5 or more 40-point games in one playoff run. It's a pretty good list, man. It's like a one-name list. It's LeBron and West, Michael, Bernard King, Iverson, Elgin, Rick Barry, Kareem, Hakeem, Shaq, and Brunson. It's a pretty good list.
Solid.
Yeah, pretty solid. And if he gets one more, then he just joins the list of Iverson, Bernard King, MJ, Jerry West, and LeBron. LeBron and Jerry West each had they had 8 in each. It got chippy. Boy, it kind of looked like an old school Knicks Pacers series. Dante DiVincenzo got into it with Miles Turner a little bit after a DiVincenzo. By the way, dude's got leaps. And he had a follow dunk. They went down. He got caught up with Miles Turner. They pushed each other. If you read lips, you might have been offended if you're offended by reading lips.
Of course, White Dante has the athleticism.
Dude, man can jump, no? Not just for a white dude. Dude can jump. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong.
All right.
But
you know, there's a movie about that.
There's a cover.
Afterwards, Dante DiVincenzo on Miles Turner. They're trying to be tough guys. That's not their identity. Nobody's going to fight in the NBA. Take the foul. Keep it moving. You're not a tough guy. Just keep it moving. It's good, man. Look, playoffs, you play a team 5, 6, 7 times in a row. You get tired of them. You don't like them. You get tired of them. Everybody wants to fight them. Everybody wants to. And it got chippy last night. Brunson's real, dude. And is that one of the greatest trades, for a team? When they acquired Brunson, and he was up for his extension. And I guess it wasn't a trade, was it? It was a free agency.
Free agency.
Yeah, it was free agency. And they opted not to keep him around. Is that one of the biggest regrets? Because I don't know how many people saw Jalen Brunson becoming this good.
I don't think that Dallas feels bad because I think Jalen Brunson was going regardless because he wanted to be number 1.
Yeah, and he
wasn't going to do that. He wasn't going to be able to do that alongside Luka Doncic. His dad is also on the Knicks coaching staff.
Yeah, and he's from Jersey, and he went to Villanova.
I don't think Dallas had a shot.
Yeah.
And it was also a contract that people laughed at initially.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I look at it, like, I knew he was good. I just didn't know he was going to be good. This kid, Jay Wright, his coach.
Jay Wright didn't even think he was going to be this good.
Yeah. His coach at Villanova said, I didn't think he was going to be this good. His deal is 4 years. Gosh, it seems light, doesn't it? Now that you look at it, 4 years, $104 million. I mean, again, $26 million a year is a lot of money. Average salary is $26 million. I mean, his contract's up after next year. So he's one of those $50, $60 million guys then, right?
Yeah, what he's doing is crazy because he's not the 6'8", the strongest, the fastest dude on the floor. Now, I think some of it, too, is Indiana is that bad defensively. When they get beat terribly on the defensive end. I think this is Knicks in 7. I think the Pacers have one more response going back home, but you're seeing some of the issues, man. Tyrese Halliburton is not aggressive enough. Jalen Brunson every single night is going to be aggressive, and you know what you're going to get out of him.
Who's this? Bleacher Report's saying that he's open to an extension. He's up for an extension this year. And he said, I'm open to extension. I don't really care about the money aspect. Okay. We'll see what happens when you don't really care about the money aspect when it comes down to it. But he loves it there. and he's turned into that guy. He's 26 years old. I mean, you look at the guys that are in their prime right now in this league, between him and Doncic and Giannis and Jokic, and this league's in great hands. You know, the LeBrons and the Stephs are on the back end, and there was the Bird Magic era, there was the Kobe era. Who's with Kobe? Who would you say would be Kobe and era? Kobe and Shaq almost era, right? Even though they weren't together the whole time, but I mean, there was Bird Magic, there was Michael. I guess there doesn't have to be another one, does there? Because it would be the Kobe era, then the LeBron era.
Yeah, you didn't have those superstar brand players winning titles in the Kobe era, because you did have, you had Allen Iverson.
Mm-hmm.
You had kind of prime Vince Carter,
Mm-hmm.
get you out of your seat. No one was gushing over Tim Duncan.
They should have been. They should have been.
He was there, so it should be like the Kobe and Duncan era.
The Kobe and Spurs era. Yeah.
Kobe and Duncan era.
Yeah. I agree with you, by the way. And then it's the LeBron era. And then now you're going in, or you could even, if you want to argue with me, actually, I think you'd have to call it LeBron and Steph era. Because Steph's won as many as LeBron, right? So I think it's the LeBron and Steph era. And now you're going into this Jokic, Brunson, Luka, Giannis, Tatum, maybe Anthony Edwards, right? I mean, this league is fine. People, whenever one of these guys goes away, wow, there's going to be a void. It's like with the quarterbacks. Wow, Favre and Manning and all, they're all going. No, you're fine, dude. There's another crop of young studs who are ready to step up. They have personalities. They have game. They will continue to grow it. And I look at the young studs in this league, and I don't care if it's a Booker or if it pick it. Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic. Pick it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, the commercial that gets the most of the young guys is SGA and Chet Holmgren singing, right? What a pro wants, what a pro needs. I think this league is in great shape. Paulo Banchero, he's probably going to get some love. All of a sudden, Orlando, you're going to see an Orlando game every once in a while. National team. Hey, TNT lose the NBA, and that show's going away. Is that what I'm starting to hear?
Well, it looks like NBC's coming in hot, but I would hope that one of those networks keeps that crew together if they want to keep it going.
So I can see almost everybody going over to NBC except for Ernie, because he's been such the Turner guy forever, right? I mean, he's the Turner lifer. He's done so much there, and that thing's based in Atlanta, and that is the best studio show period ever. Like for any sport, it's better than any NFL Today, any NFL Live, right? Do we agree with that?
It's fantastic.
It's just naturally good. Now it's gotten a little corny at times, but it's good. It's real opinions. It's real personalities, and those guys feel like they like each other. It's a shame if they break that up. Look, we know the game will go on. I was bummed when they broke up the team with Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, along with Mike Breen. Like, we're still going to watch, and there's going to be a point where whatever you don't realize you miss it anymore. But that'd be a shame, because that's really, really good. Really, really, really good. All right, 505-246-0610. When we come back, Lobos, Bill, is that their final scholarship, or at least for now, their final scholarship? An athletic swing. This is, right? I don't know if they got the shooter that they need, but there were two things I thought they find a sniper and find a 6'4", 6'5", 6'6" athletic swing who can guard and get you some points. It feels like maybe they got that, who he is, where he comes from, and what the story is there. We'll do that when we come back. International Protective Service is now taking security to a whole new level, and literally a whole new level, up in the air. For 18 years, IPS has offered standing guards, 24-hour patrols. They protect homes and businesses, both in Albuquerque and now recently launched in Santa Fe. But IPS now has IPS Global Aviation. It's a fleet of drones with high-definition cameras and analytics software which will exceed your security expectations. So with the drones, IPS can monitor your next event. They can track emergency response. They'll follow criminal activity that you just can't see as well from the ground. The drones include thermal imaging, so IPS can help with eyes in the sky during wildfire season. It's unmatched ability to watch from the air. On the ground, IPS continues to use highly trained, armed officers to watch homes and businesses. They install cameras. They monitor them around the clock. This deters criminal activity around your property. They even offer personal bodyguards if there's a threat to your safety. So if you have a safety issue, IPS has you covered. And we all have safety issues. 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live in.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted,
Intoxicated.
ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Animal. Got a pretty good map of players as far as the Lobel men's basketball roster, where dudes are from now. Like if you could play a game with flags of countries, say, all right, put the flag of the country with with the person.
It's not a bad idea,
right? You could like all right, show me the Serbian flag and show me the Nigerian flag and the Finnish flag, and now show me the Guinea flag. And right, it'd be a good little social media. Hey, pitch up by your marketing people. It's a little game to play just on social.
I might have to add it to the list.
All right. It's the opening drive. Jeff Sabieta, JJ Buck. All right. As of now, Lobel men's basketball has, I guess you could put state flags in there too, like what the New Jersey flag and the Arizona flag and the Missouri flag. Right? You could do all that.
Flag for everyone.
Lobel can't throw Canada in there too. The Lobel basketball men's roster is as of now full. Now I say as of now because things can always change, right? There can always be someone who says, "Yeah, I'm out." I know the portal is closed is closed, but a 6'6" forward, Ibrahima Sacco, who played his freshman year at Georgia Tech, has given a commitment on social media to play for the Lobos next year. It's the 13th and final open scholarship. He is from Guinea, which is in Africa. Played high school ball in Canada. 3 starts last year at Georgia Tech, where he played for Damon Stoudemire. He played in 20 games. And JJ, again, I'm not going to pretend I saw Ibrahima Sacco play. I did not. But what his coach Damon Stoudemire said when Ibrahima first signed to play at Georgia Tech was he talked about his defense. He said he could be elite. He could be one of the best defenders in the country. He didn't play a lot as a freshman at Georgia Tech last year. But I think that's something that is look, I watched this league and how this league got really good. I watched the Mountain West and how it got good. And I know San Diego State got to where they are by playing defense over the last 2.5 decades. I've watched Boise State's defense get tremendously better. Steve Alford's teams, for the most part, play defense, right? They got to the NCAA tournament. And you go up and down. And I think New Mexico's defense got better last year because as we sat here a year ago now, what was the biggest thing? Well, they got to get better defensively. And Richard said it in the postgame press conference or the postseason press conference a year ago after they lost to, Utah Valley in the NIT. And so I think that's really good. I thought going into this cycle, the two things they really need, obviously they needed to replace some size, and they did that. A 6'4" to 6'7" athletic swing that could guard the 2, the 3, and the 4. That could give you some offense, and then a sniper. I don't know if they got that shooter or not, and let's see if Braden Applehans can become that, or somebody can become that really good shooter. Maybe it's the freshman. But I feel like they addressed the majority of their needs, don't you?
They have, and I think what you're seeing is even coming off, the House and Mashburn era, you saw it last year. Richard Pitino really lean into the defense and trying to be a bigger, more physical team. Now, I think that's still to be determined. The physicality of these young players, of the guys that they're bringing in. Because you got 2 freshmen inside that are coming in. The transfer from Arizona. The kind of game Mustafa Amzil has.
Right.
So I'm confident in the defense and what this team is going to be able to do. There's still a giant question mark in shooting.
Yep. And maybe it's Nolan, maybe it's Dotson.
Maybe it is one of those guys that comes in and is able to light it up. Because I think that small forward position, though, is going to be fascinating. Because you see Sacco come in 6'6", always at Georgia Tech, and I'm just sitting there going, like, what is Quentin Webb supposed to be?
I know.
Like, what is his role on this roster? And part of it, too, is don't worry about it. Get as many players as you can because of the turnover and the way this thing functions, and then let those players go out and earn those minutes, and that's what we'll see.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. They're going to get into workouts, they're going to get into the fall, and they'll earn time. And does Daniel Thomas play as a freshman at 6'8"? How much? I mean, you've got Milicevic at 6'10". You've got Nelly at 6'10". You've got Amzil, who is more of a 3 at 6'9", and then Borovichinen, who's 6'9". I feel good up front. I think I feel good defensively. I feel like you got a rim defender in a Tiki. And now, where are you going to score? And I've got Dent who can score. I think Amzil can score. I think True Washington's going to be better offensively. Is it Nolan? Where am I scoring? And that's what I'll see. I like the way the roster is constructed. I really do. Got more on Louisville basketball. When they're going to play against Rick Pitino in the Garden. And how JT Toppin did. JT Toppin did something at the Combine yesterday, the NBA Draft Combine, that nobody else at that Combine did. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Hour.
Get ready to step into the ring of excitement.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with with green stuff. One scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough. Back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
I'm New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Bach.
Nuggets 112, Wolves 97. If you fell asleep last night, that was the final. Some of us fell asleep. Nikola Jokic, 40 points, 7 rebounds, 13 assists, and just had his way with Rudy Gobert. Knicks beat the Pacers 121-91. Jalen Brunson had 44. Both of those series are 3-2 for last night's winners and headed back to the homes of the teams that did not win last night, both in Minnesota and Indianapolis. Caitlin Clark had 20 points and 10 turnovers in her WNBA debut, and they lost to the Fever 92-71 to the Connecticut Sun. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Talking a little basketball when the addition of Ibrahima Sacco, 6'6", transfer from Georgia Tech, is now filled out, at least for now, the scholarship limit for the University of New Mexico. And how do you feel about the roster, the way it's constructed? This is probably a pretty good idea, JJ, at this point of what it's going to look, right? There may be a change or two as we go, and somebody may fall off or whatever, but this is a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like. And I think people are okay with it. I think. A couple other things. I think you already knew the Lobos were going to play St. John's at Madison Square Garden. CBS Sports' John Rothstein reported yesterday it will be Sunday, November 17th, so that'll be very early in the season. It'll be up against the NFL.
It's only nearing the end of your non-conference schedule.
So I think they're going to play a couple of games at conference in early December, then go back into non-conference. Because what's their MT?
Because of the 20-game schedule?
Yeah, I think that's right.
So you kind of seen what you've seen in the Big Ten and other places.
Yeah. What's their MTE? They're playing in
Palm Springs?
I think that's right. Yeah.
So you're going to Palm Springs for Thanksgiving or New York for December 17th?
That's a really good point. If Rob's got football, but the game's on Sunday, so Rob will fly out. He'll have football on the 16th, and then he'll fly to New York. He's not missing that one. I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
There's not going to be football on
November 16th? Sure there will.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I was thinking December.
No, November. Yeah.
Where's my mind at?
Well, it was already in January.
I was just totally talking about a whole different thing.
Yeah, November 16th, they play a home game against Washington State. And so, Rob will fly out. I mean, nor should he. God bless him. He's not going to miss a chance to broadcast a game at Madison Square Garden.
No.
So, yeah, he'll fly out.
They played Barclays.
In Brooklyn. Yeah.
And they played at Wisconsin.
Auburn, Wisconsin, yeah.
A while back.
But, he's I'm sure Rob will make that trip and get out there after the game. One other thing, JT Toppin is at the NBA Combine. He had the only double-double of the day. There are 42 draft prospects. There are 4 teams playing 2 scrimmages. He had 8 offensive rebounds, which were 3 more than anyone else on the offensive class. He measured it at 6'7", 221, with a wingspan of 7 feet and a half an inch. 7 feet, a half an inch. His shooting and speed, scores and drills were good. Not they didn't stand out. But man, I don't care about what I weigh, what I look like. If he plays himself into the draft, dude, the Global fans could feel a hell of a lot better about him going into the portal.
Yes, because they won't see him somewhere else.
That's right.
So it will be a different feeling.
And he'll be from
JT
New Mexico,
Toppin,
right? From UNL.
the Lobo getting drafted as opposed to JT Toppin, the Texas Longhorn getting drafted.
Yeah. Yeah.
No question. I think what JT showed is you know what you're going to get. Effort, rebounding. I do think he's kind of in an awkward spot, though. He's 6'7", and he's not a floor stretcher. So what he needs to show is that he has the athleticism to defend on the wing.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to survive in the post full time in the NBA.
Yes.
And that his offensive game, whether it's his shooting ability, passing ability, what are you going to do to contribute in your minutes?
So a couple of things. I go back to the Tony Snell. And I remember when he got drafted and there was this conversation, is he ready and is it on potential? And Tony Snell had an almost 10-year career in the NBA. And I go back to that and I think, okay, they drafted him on what they saw he could do. One thing I know JT Toppin can do is rebound. Okay, he's got a knack for rebounding. He's got a shot. You've seen it. If I work him out, let's say I'm pick your NBA team. I'm a scout. I work him out. Can I work on him? If he's a pro, I got him every day. Can I work on his shot? And do I think he can defend the perimeter? Because if I think both of those things, I think all of a sudden I got this bouncy rebounding machine who, if he can defend the perimeter, and I think your point is absolute as far as the key, because he can't live in the post in the NBA. I think I got something there. And certainly if he's sitting around the second round, I think JT Toppin's a pro.
You know me in this conversation.
I know.
And I am the one that is forward thinking because that's the way you have to look at it. There's guys that have the resume that have 3 or 4 years of experience. There's a lot more to base off of. And then the majority of these guys, it is projection. When you look at a player like Giannis when he came into the league, he looks nothing like the basketball player he is now. My biggest thing is going to be athleticism.
Okay.
Because he can't play small forward in the NBA.
Why? You don't think he's athletic
He doesn't
enough?
shoot enough. He doesn't. You look at Jaden McDaniels,
Yeah.
that's a small forward.
Okay.
You look at Michael Porter Jr., that's a small forward for the Nuggets.
He doesn't shoot enough because he can't, or because
I don't think he has the quickness to survive on the perimeter.
Okay.
And that's kind of where he's going to get pigeonholed into, because you're not going to be a 6'7" power forward in the NBA.
I agree with that. I think he's got to be a 3 in the NBA. I'm not convinced he doesn't have the quickness and the athleticism to do that. I agree with you that I didn't see it, but is that like
that's not something that's coming? You have it or you don't.
But did he have to do it? Is my point. Right in college, this is to me the story. I'm going to draw you a little bit of an analogy. You tell me if I'm way off. So you're a 6'5" basketball player and you play in New Mexico. On your team, you're a 5, right? Playing high school basketball. You're a center. Well, for crying out loud, you're not going to be a center when you go up to the next level. You're going to be a 2 or a 3 at 6'5". But you didn't guard the perimeter. You didn't shoot. Does that mean you can't, or you're playing the position?
He's also, if he had those skills, we would have seen more of it. The ball skills on the perimeter.
So you say they would have had him guard the perimeter?
Yeah.
See, I think they needed him to play in the post more, and so that's where he.
I'm with you. I'm Team JT Toppin.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking as an NBA executive,
right, and that's what I want to see. That's why when I said I want to work him out and see can he guard the perimeter, I agree with you. I haven't seen it. I'm just not convinced he can. That's all I'm saying. I hear you.
Like, he has good athleticism.
Yeah.
Like, all right, this dude's going to defend and rebound. So the effort, he checks those boxes. He's going to get the opportunity to get there. When you look at how he's kind of compared, so JT Toppin is 6'7", but he's considered a big. And his athleticism scores in the combine, so there's this spark metric. And it's just another one of those numbers, but it's kind of like height, weight, vertical, your explosiveness, shuttle drill.
Spark metric.
So they kind of combine it. Like, so it's not, just pure 40-yard dash. It's like, all right, what do you do? Shuttle, short spaces, athleticism. He was 28th percentile. that's going to be a challenge.
That's a problem. Yeah, that's a problem.
And so but I love this opportunity for JT Toppin, for these players that have the chance to go get real life feedback from NBA teams, to go toe to toe with players that the NBA considers him a draft eligible player. You don't get to the combine just because. So he has what you're talking about, skills people want to see more of. And so that's why I think, this is something he can build off of. And I like the fact too that it's not just JT Toppin, but other players, that this isn't the end all be all, that they can come back and continue their collegiate career. So maybe I'm a little down on Toppin as opposed to forward thinking, but he's going to be able to come out of this process with so much information that's going to make him, whether he stays in the draft or whatever college he ends up, such a better basketball player.
All right. I love your thoughts. Because to me, and again, I looked at the numbers and I didn't see him play. Did you watch any of him play in the combine? I saw.
I did. He was on Bronny James' squad.
Yeah.
So it was a highlighted game yesterday. And that's one they get into too.
Yeah,
Bronny
I'm gonna hit that
that was a bit shocking seeing his measurements.
Yeah.
I understand what they were trying to do. I wasn't a fan of it because they didn't talk about what was going on. It was more of like they're doing their like studio show while the game was going on. So it's kind of hard to know who the prospects were or get an idea. But I did see him on the floor, and it was the JT expect: effort, playing hard, rebounding the basketball.
And that's why I think there's something there. I think there's an it. And sometimes guys just don't fit the mold, and they work. Charles Barkley shouldn't have been one of the great rebounders of all time at 6'4", but he was. And I'm not telling you he's Charles Barkley. That's not what I'm telling you. Sometimes there's an it, and I want to see him play amongst these peers a little bit more. Let's see what he does today at the combine, because if he continues to put up numbers,
he's not going to get the opportunity at the combine to show the skills he needs to have. Like, and that's with the ball in your hand.
All right.
It's like, can you bring the ball up the court if needed?
If he comes out of this today, has another double-double, is the only guy that does a double-double out of 44 news, and the combine ends, aren't you as a franchise, as an exec, just going, whoa, dude, I mean, this is not the deepest draft ever. And I'm looking at that guy. Did you see that JT Toppin guy? Look at the numbers. Look at the tape. Aren't you taking a look and saying, man, if he's sitting around at 51?
Conference player of the year. Or freshman of the year.
Yeah.
So you have established a good floor, high ceiling for a young player that's getting married. Yeah, he's going to be there.
19 years
old. He's going to get legitimate looks.
Yeah. All right, he's on Bronny James's team. Oh, what Bronny had to say. And does he really want to play with Daddy in the NBA? Huh. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Zone.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive lens exchange, the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Channel 26 on our Facebook page, and of course you can send text Jeff at Sport or at 505-246-0610. So JJ, LeBron has made it pretty clear, like he wants to play with his kid, and this is, who's going to coach the Lakers and whatever. Does Bronny want to play with his dad? And we've talked about this a lot. Where is Bronny? What's best for this young man? And I don't know him. You don't know him. Nobody does. So they did his weigh-ins. This is his measurables. 6'1", he had a 40.5 vertical leap, which was the fourth highest there. Quote from Bronny yesterday: "I would be happy about getting in the league instead of me thinking about playing with my dad. That's not my mindset, or not at all. I'm just trying to put in the work and see where it takes me from here. My dream has always been to to put my name out, make a name for myself. And of course, get to the NBA, which is everyone's end goal that's here. And I never thought about just playing with my dad, but of course, he's brought it up a couple of times. That was a quote. I sit far away. I've always thought Bronny, and Bronny's been pretty quiet. Bronny's hard not to like. Whether you like LeBron or not, I think LeBron's hard to like, but other people feel completely differently. And he's one of the most polarizing athletes of our time. Bronny himself is hard not to like. He hasn't said or done anything that you necessarily say I really like him or I don't like him. He's been a player. When he had the medical incident, I think he was wow. I think we're all pulling for Bronny, right? I mean, if you have a heart, you're pulling for an 18-year-old kid who had a heart incident and dropped on the court to come back and make it all the way back and achieve his dream. But this was always Daddy saying, I want to play with my kid. This is about me. And I think back to the Griffeys, and I know this is before your time, but when Junior came up and played with his dad, and I was up in Seattle or I was in Washington State, not in Seattle. But when Junior came up and played with his dad, and they both hit the home run, and it was one of the coolest things ever. And it has to be organic. LeBron's backed off his statements of late, right? And I wonder if it's because he and his kid had a conversation. And I wonder if his dad, if the son said to his dad, like stop. I kind of want to make my own name. I don't want it to be thought that I just got into the league because my dad. And
that's never going to stop.
I agree with that, but
I think it's a family thing. I would doubt that. Well, I don't doubt, but I don't think that what LeBron did is there's anything like offensive. Like he's there, he's at his son's games, he's supporting them.
No doubt he's a good
and there's nothing really at this point in time that you're going to be able to separate yourself enough from your dad, who is going to be one of the 2-3 best players to ever play this game.
Quote Bronny James. I just want to, have people know my name is Bronny James and not be identified as just LeBron James' son. And how does he do that if the Lakers draft him and he sits on the bench and he gets to run around with his dad?
You can't do it if the Lakers draft him. And it's something that even if another team drafts him, he'll always have that chip on his shoulder because that's all people will think about him. But then all you can say to the young man is whatever path that you're on, show effort, show your ability, because I think it yesterday changed a lot of thoughts about Bronny James and the fact that he was listed at like 6'4", and you're thinking, all right, can you be like a shooting guard, play on the wing? The dude's gonna have to show he can play point guard. He's 6'1". Mm-hmm. So he's got good hops, he's got good athleticism, and the path for Bronny is going to be a team that's willing to draft him and then let him go be a point guard in G League.
Which is a fine path, by the way. Yeah. Which is okay. Because I think you're right, he's going to have to go learn to be a point guard. I don't know what Bronny James' strength is, basketball-wise. I just didn't see enough of him. I'm not going to pretend I watched him play high school ball, and he didn't play enough at USC to really get a good idea. Do you have a good idea what kind of player he is?
Well, I think that he brings effort, which is not a thing to overlook, especially, when you are a player that's in the spotlight, that everyone talks about you, everyone's watching your games. Yeah. I think that you have to assume the basketball IQ is solid. Like just you
have to assume what?
The basketball IQ is solid, just being around the game. And he cares for basketball.
Okay.
Like if he didn't care, like he wouldn't have been top 100 player. Like you can fall through the cracks. Like you have a name, getting opportunities, but so he cares about the game. He wants to be good about the game, and those are all the things that you have to have when your development is going to be about doing something you probably initially weren't going to do, and that is realizing, if you want to play at the next level, you're gonna have to be a point guard and show your point guard skills And that's going to be a few years developing that. Because the way I'm talking about this, when I'm talking about JT Toppin, and I might sound a little harsh at times, because my first thought is not, can JT Toppin be on an NBA roster? Yeah. But if I'm looking at one of these guys, my first thought is, what's going to earn him minutes on the floor for my team? And so that's what I'm looking at. Not, can this guy be on the back of my roster? It's, all right, if the dude is playing 10 minutes, where is he playing? How is he playing? And that's the same thing for Bronny James. If I'm bringing Bronny James to my team and developing him, do I trust his decision-making for whatever time Aaron's on the floor?
Yeah, and I think JT Toppin's in a different place, and I think he's well advanced, even though they're the same age and coming off of their same year, even as an NBA prospect, as Bronny James. The Bronny thing, you said he's always going to be LeBron James' son. And I look at it, remember when, and maybe you do or maybe you don't, Texas Southern came to town this last year, and Shaquille O'Neal's son was playing. Dennis Rodman's daughter plays on the U.S. Olympic soccer team, right? She's Dennis Rodman's daughter. Until you make a name for yourself. Now, Bronny James is not going to be a better basketball player than his dad. He's not. Ken Griffey Jr. came up as Ken Griffey's son. Ken Griffey was a good baseball player. Not a Hall of Famer, not one of the best that ever played. Kenny became better than his dad, and Ken Griffey Sr. became Ken Griffey Jr.'s dad. You know what I mean? It flipped the table. I don't know that you ever lose that moniker, and I think it's okay. And I'm trying to think, Fernando Tatis is outplayed that. Almost Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has outplayed that in baseball, right? There's some guys, you just grew up with the genetics. It's the good and the bad. You probably lived a pretty good life. You had some advantages, but yeah, you're living in your dad's shadow. Bronny's going to live that, and I don't blame him for saying, I want to be Bronny James, not LeBron James' kid. And all I'm saying, I don't know what the headline for you is. It sounds like the headline for you, and it's a huge headline coming out of the combine yesterday, is he's not 6'4", he's 6'1", and that's a big headline, by the way.
It does. It changes the outlook, the potential, of what your role could be at the highest level.
But the headline to me is, I don't want to be just known as LeBron James' kid. I want to be Bronny James. That everything's talking about me playing with my dad. I just want to get to the league, not just play with my dad. And it all now lines up with LeBron backing off. Well, I don't know why you guys are making such a big deal. It's why? Because you're the one who said it many, many times. And it makes sense why LeBron is now backed off. It sounds like they had a conversation where it's like, Dad, you got to stop, man. I want to.
And that's a hard one too.
Sure, it is. But if they had it good for that young man,
and I don't. Because I'm thinking back on it, and it's easy to bash LeBron, especially when he said that when he was talking about Bronny, and there's some comments that came out and said, he could be in the league right now, rotation player.
Whatever. It's just bad take.
It's a bad take, but also I'm like, I think he kind of got lost in the moment.
Who did?
Of being a dad.
Okay.
And I think even LeBron James, as we say, everything is calculated. He overhyped his son, and
now his son's paying the price.
And now, and so because it's one where I can't get mad at it, man. Like I just he's like, I think he kind of got into crazy dad mode. Like Bronny's working hard, and then
you just got to realize what it's going to do to your kid, right? And it put his kid on this pedestal that I don't know that his kid can ever rise to.
And that's tough. Because I do think ultimately, I don't think there was any ill intention. Like, I think
right.
LeBron was kind of just got hyper active dad mode.
Yeah, no, I get
wanted
that.
To talk up his son, but then you take a step back and go, who you are, what those comments mean, what people are going to say about it, and you're left with that.
And I'm going to tell you, if Bronny had this conversation with his dad, like, good for that young man. Do you remember the first time you had to come up on your parents and just have a conversation, say, hey, I need you to whatever, stop doing this or do this or whatever. If in fact, I don't know if it ever happened, it kind of feels like Bronny, because if he's saying it to the media, I'm going to guess it's not the first time his dad's heard this, right?
Well,
it can't be.
It's not straight from Bronny. The family's involved. Rich Paul probably said, "Cool your jets, man." Like
to LeBron.
Yeah.
But that's a guy.
Your kid.
That's a guy who nobody tells no.
Has an agent essentially since he was been a kid.
And Rich Paul's Bronny's agent too, right?
But I mean, like the whole advisors, like he's all.
No, I get it. I like he didn't grow up like you and I or our kids grew up. I totally get that. But if in fact he did have that conversation with his dad, like good for the young. I like the young man a lot because the courage it takes to come up on your parents and say, "Hey, you need to stop," or I need you to do this. It's not helping me. And the parent may have the best intentions. I have no doubt LeBron's a great dad. I have no doubt at all he's a great dad. And I agree with you. Did he get over his skis a little bit and probably overhype his kid? He did. And in retrospect, is it good for the kid? It's probably not. Like LeVar Ball probably did what he was thinking was great for his kids. Went out there and bloviated like he did and blew all that. I mean, he had diarrhea of the mouth. Right? Didn't help his kids. But he thought he was. But I just, to me, the headline coming out of this thing is, holy smokes. You know, I don't know that I want to play. So, all right, 505-246-0610. I love your thoughts on this, and where you think, you know, does LeBron or does Bronny go where? Is he an NBA player? Does he go back to school? Because everything is pointing towards him staying. And what you thought of JT and the numbers that he did. When we come back, speaking of GOAT conversations and LeBron's in the GOAT conversation, the greatest roast of all times. Was it really? And would Tommy do it again? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610. The sports animal.
For more than 50.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets.
I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
This week, and some really good stuff out there. Congratulations to the champions. Volcano Vista boys and Piedra Vista girls won 5A championships. Albuquerque Academy won 4A boys and girls. Jake Urini, here's a guy stepping out of dad's shadow. So Don Urini, the head pro out at Canyon Club, who, when I was at Channel 7, JJ, there was this guy, Don Urini, was winning the city championship, the one over the summer. He was winning it all the time. His son is a stick. I see Jake out every once in a while. He just won his second state championship for La Cueva yesterday. Annie Yost of Piedra Vista won the girls. And then 4A, Belin's Riley Salome won her third straight state championship. When I tell you there's some really good golfers running around, the young golfers, it's
they PGA Championship good.
Are
they going to go to the PGA Combine?
Who knows? I mean, who knows? You got Nota Begay out there watching him, watching his alma mater win boys and girls in Albuquerque Academy. So yeah, great stuff, and congratulations to all the champs. You get state track and field this weekend, and baseball's still going on. We're gonna have state championships in baseball. So some really, really, really cool stuff. But he was talking about stepping out of your daddy's shadow. Good for Jake. Is a stick. His dad is unbelievable. Don's the head pro up at Canyon Club. I see him out on the range. He's just got one of the sweetest, most effortless swings. And I've watched Jake, because Jake was playing junior when Addie was about the same, or junior PGA, but he went on and he's just been so good. And so repeats the state champion. It was good for him. All right. What do you think of the Grossed? Right. We sat around. We thought it was funny. Thought it was well done. It was. Because we're not Giselle or Tom Brady's kids or the people who are the butt of the jokes. Tom Brady says he wouldn't do it again. He went on the Pivot podcast. And he says he regrets doing that roast. And I still don't understand the impetus of it. Was there a charity element around it? Was it just for Netflix?
There was no charity involved. It was supposed to be the start of a series.
Okay. Series of celebrity roasts?
Yes.
Okay. It's interesting. Quote from Tommy. I liked when the jokes were about me. I thought they were so fun. I didn't like the way they affected my kids. It's the hardest part about it. Like the bittersweet aspect of what you do. Something that you think about is one way, and then all of a sudden you realize I wouldn't do that again because of the way that it affected actually the people that I care about most in the world. End quote. He said he thought, going in it would be cool, and he realized, damn, it really wasn't that cool. And he wouldn't do it again. And this is, again, there's a little theme here today, right? You try to do the right thing and you don't realize sometimes how it will affect your kids, or you just don't know. Should he have thought of that going in?
I don't know what he was expecting. Like, you can say things are off limits, but even if they're making fun of you, there's going to be a trickle down effect.
And you just never know how things are going to go. He was beat up for his separation with Bridget Moynihan while she was pregnant with his oldest child. Quote on that. It makes you in some ways a better parent going through it. Sometimes you're naive. You don't know. When I signed up for that, I love when people are making fun of me. I always said when I was going through the Deflategate stuff that I watched 3 things on TV: Premier League, soccer, golf, and comedy shows. I saw it. Every time I turned on SportsCenter, it was like, are you bleeping kidding me? I just want to laugh. I wanted to do the roast because Jeff Ross became somebody I knew, but you don't see the full picture all the time. End quote. All right. He says, I love people making fun of me. I just want to laugh. So I want to do the roast. You just don't see the full picture all the time. So I think it's a good lesson for me as a parent. I'm going to be a better parent as I go forward. I guess he probably had a conversation with his kids, and his kids were like, yeah, Dad, what was that all about? Like, mom's really hurt. Right? I mean, again, it sounds like kids got to the parent and the parents just going, yeah, I kind of need to reverse my course on this thing.
I think if he didn't tell anyone he was doing it,
yeah,
I could understand, but if you're going to do that,
you don't know.
Like, do you tell Giselle, if you're Tom Brady, that you're doing a roast about yourself? Because man, it's coming. Like, whether they're joking about your family or kids or not, there's a trickle down effect.
Well, like Mo just said, he said, just watch past roasts.
Yeah, like,
They're brutal. They're brutal.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah, I just, did you think that there were going to be guardrails?
It's not and I don't think that there were any jokes specifically that were disparaging his kids. But it's when you see your parent go through that, you hear that stuff, it's going to be on social media, your friends are going to talk about it. Like, that's why I'm kind of like, what did you think was happening, man?
I agree.
Like, did you not watch something that Jeff Ross has done before? If he became your buddy and you're like, you went through all the motions to be, an executive producer on roasts, and you never watched one? Because I kind of look at this and say, like, what are you crying about, Tom? Like, you signed up for this. You wanted to put this series together. What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know that I can disagree with you. And You didn't put any guardrails. You just say, all right, and you couldn't have. All right, my ex-wife's off limits. You know, the kids evidently were off limits, and there weren't any jokes about the kids necessarily. But de facto there were, right? And
because if you put yourself in that situation, and even those comedians that go up there,
they're good, man. They're gonna get you.
Like they're like, oh, this is Tom Brady, we'll do it. But if you go in, like they couldn't joke about Robert Kraft, and that's like prime material roast right there.
Which was the only.
If you can't joke about someone's ex-wife, then it gets to a point of like, what are you signing up for?
Yeah,
Do you not
your
understand
haircut,
what a roast is for?
Deflategate's the only thing I got in your haircut, and you better thank Marshawn Lynch or Pete Carroll for not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch. I agree with you. All right, 505-246-0610. A bunch of stuff you're sending in, including I got a really good one on JT Toppin. Could he be like this all-time great in the NBA? Maybe. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, taint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
Girls individual title, but the girls 5A golf champions are Pedro Vista, and I apologize because I did get that wrong. It's the opening drive, Jeff, JJ, 505-246-0610. Lil Wayne, we were talking about Nikola Jokic, and can he be one of the best ever? Lil Wayne doesn't think so. He says, I don't like Jokic. I don't like his game. He looked like the dad of a YMCA player. He might, but he's that damn good. He really is. Mo sent me a text. He says, can Toppin be a Rodman? You say no.
No.
Why?
Dennis Rodman was a better athlete.
And I mean, there was only one of
him.
He
can defend 1 through 5.
Okay.
And that's not a fair comparison for JT Toppin.
Okay. Ralph says, for Tommy to apologize, Giselle probably gave him a significant earful. Dude never apologizes for anything. I don't know if he apologized. He just said he wouldn't do it again. He regrets doing it. I didn't hear him say that I'm sorry. Did you?
No, they said he wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I think there's a big difference.
But usually if you do one, you're not doing a second one.
Yeah, that's probably right. We got it all out. There's not that much more that we're coming after you about. I'm not sure he apologized, Ralphie. I think that he said he regrets it. He said he wouldn't do it again. But I don't think he apologized. All right, let me read some of the emails you sent at Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. They come in at Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Jeffrey and Juan Jose, Caitlin Clark equals global football. That was hard to watch. Just like global football, there will be good ratings for a few more games, and then interest will start to die once global basketball, or in this case, the NFL preseason begins. This is from Dan. Dan, I don't know what you expected. Like, with all due respect, Caitlin Clark scored 20 points, turned the ball over 10. Now, I didn't expect her to turn it over 10 times also. Okay? This is a different world, man. She ain't playing college basketball anymore. This is the best in the world. This is professional rank. So she will be fine. Now, ratings are going to dip. They're going to be higher than last year and lower than yesterday, if that makes any sense to you. But once you get into the summer and people go do their thing, everybody wants to see the first. You're going to watch the home opener, and then you're going to watch a few. But it's like the dip between. Watch the dip between the Fever game last night against the Sun and the Aces game. The Aces are the champion, but I guarantee you, JJ, I wouldn't be surprised if the Aces game had half the audience that the Fever game. You think that's too dramatic?
No.
So there's going to be, it'll dip. You're going to watch. You're not going to watch every damn game, but you'll watch more than you did before. You're going to watch the NFL in Europe? Schedule's trickling out. I got the international schedule for you as they start to give us bit by bit by bit. And why what Rory McIlroy's been doing on the golf course is even more impressive than we thought. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
This is Boomer Science with Sports Minute. Today.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
is a proud supporter of ProView.
I'm sorry. Evidently, Tommy did apologize. JJ. Ralph, you just sent me a CBS story. It says Tom Brady apologized to Giselle for disparaging jokes about the Rose. Giselle and Tom had a no disparaging remarks rule when it came to speaking about each other or their marriage and divorce. She was definitely offended and upset about the comments made at the roast. She thinks her new relationship should have been off limits. Tom did reach out to Giselle to apologize to her. They are cordial and communicate about the kids. So evidently he did apologize. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't apologize for much, man. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. How you living? 505-246-0610. Emails, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. A little news this morning. If you're a horse racing fan and you're looking at the Preakness, the favorite for the Preakness, Muth, scratched because of spiked temperature. That's the horse, the Bob Baffert horse that won the Arkansas Derby earlier this year. So the favorite is out. That'll change your odds a little bit. Last night, Nuggets, late night, beat the Wolves 112-97, 3-2. Denver is up in that series, going back to Minneapolis. Earlier, the Knicks beat the Pacers 121-91. New York up 3-2. They're headed back to Indianapolis. Minneapolis, Indianapolis. And Caitlin Clark in Connecticut. No, that was in Connecticut. Scored 20 points, had 10 turnovers. Her Fever of Indianapolis, or Indiana, lost to the Connecticut Sun 92-71 in her WNBA debut. It's the opening drive. Glad you're here. All right, JJ, we're getting a schedule tonight, NFL schedule. You can plan your third weekend in October and where you're going to be for Thanksgiving and what you're going to do around your football. International games, we already knew that the Friday of opening weekend, the Packers and Eagles were going to play in Brazil. That's on Peacock, by the way. You have to get Peacock. You have that?
I don't know. I'll just click on it and see what happens.
You're looking at me like, I don't know. All right, here's your other international as it trickles out. Week 5, and the biggest reason that these matter is because you got to get up really damn early, and it screws with fantasy football. These early games screw with fantasy football because if you got a dude who's hurt and might be playing late, but yet these games start at 7:30 in the morning, and you got to put guys in and get it. Just, I hate getting up that damn early on Sunday. That's how it affects me. You think I'm wrong? It doesn't affect your life like that?
It's very important.
Dude, all right, let's just say you got Christian Watson as one of your receivers, and he's questionable. But you want to play him against the Eagles, and he might. Oh, that's the wrong game. All right, let's just say, give me.
You set your alarm.
Garrett Wilson's questionable.
Say
Is he going to play against the Vikings or not?
20 minutes before kickoff.
Yeah.
You wake up.
Yeah.
You check your phone.
Yeah.
You go back to sleep.
Do you though? Because now you're up and you're watching the game.
Then what are you complaining about?
I didn't get my sleep on Sunday morning, and I feel like crap
Go
on
to bed
Monday.
earlier.
No, you don't. No, you just don't because you're watching
Find
football.
solution.
I'm watching the Lobos because they didn't start
till
till 8:30 on Saturday night because they're playing on the West Coast. Because they're playing at Washington State or something. San Diego State or something. All right, Jets and Vikings week 5 in England.
We don't complain about football. Whether it's on at 7:30 a.m.
or whether
midnight,
it's in June,
we watch football.
NFL Network will have that next week. All right, this is the Jaguars homestand in England. NFL Network, Bears and Jaguars. So that's Caleb Williams, and Jacksonville gets their hometown team. By the way, Jacksonville. Did you see they're redoing their stadium? The club's in for $650 million. The city's in for $650 million, and they're going to play every year in freaking England once. All right, so week 6 they play Bears and Jaguars in England. Week 7, Patriots and Jaguars in England. That's on the NFL Network. And then week 10 in Germany, Giants and Panthers. Why does that feel like a dog? Are the Giants going to be any good?
Yeah.
Are they?
Will be.
All right.
Fine.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones coming back. Malik Neighbors.
Daniel Jones. Biggest show me year for a quarterback this year is for who?
Dak Prescott.
I don't think so. Dak Prescott going to get paid one way or the other. I think Dak Prescott is shown me that he's an NFL quarterback. I mean, it's a big year, and I'm not telling
How many years can you say Derek Carr in this conversation? You said Daniel Jones before.
Daniel Jones, man. Kyler Murray. No?
They're not moving off Kyler Murray unless he wins one game.
Okay. I think Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones. It's going to be an interesting year for Geno to see if this
Especially
is
he
it.
didn't play a full year last year coming back from the knee.
Yeah. That's why I think it's a big year. Geno Smith in Seattle.
I think with some of these guys, like it's even if it's okay, it's like there's better options. Like I think Geno Smith peaked.
He did
What
that
we
one
what
year.
we see,
That one
like
year.
that's the ceiling, and you might be chasing that, but I don't think his floor is going to be as high. So it's always going to be kind of looking over your shoulder for Geno Smith.
Jordan Love.
Oh no,
He's shown me, right? Deshaun Watson. Doesn't matter because
No.
he's getting paid.
I know,
Right?
He can do whatever he wants.
Will Levis. You put Will Levis on that list?
Well, if they're not good, they're gone. Is that what?
Yeah, kind of. I'm moving on.
So Kyler Murray's not on that list.
I believe he is, but okay. But I'm going to move on and find my next one.
Not when you have that much guaranteed money wrapped
It's
up.
a lot of money, you know.
You have a good coaching staff, and you still don't have a lot around him, so you need to get that going.
Daniel Jones at the top of this list.
I think that decision's already made, though.
That they're done with him? That they didn't draft a quarterback and they were sitting right there at, 9 or 10? And they didn't draft one of these guys?
Well, they didn't think Michael Penix or J.J. McCarthy was that dude like those other teams did.
Okay, like the other teams did. Because everybody else feels like relatively. So I mean, to me, it's the show me year for quarterback, and we've had this conversation every year. There's a guy or two guys you go into it. To me, Daniel Jones tops that list. Geno Smith would be close on it. Will Levis is close on it.
I think Geno Smith, even if that's the dude that go out there and win 10 games, and if you're telling me,
So what if he wins 10 games again this year? He's your guy next year?
no, like Geno Smith is the guy that, all right, you go out there and win 10 games, but let's say Dak Prescott's available, I'm having that conversation.
Okay. See, to me, Dak, and I guess the real definition of either your guy or moving on. So, yeah, he would fall into that. But Dak's going to get a job. If Daniel Jones doesn't win, doesn't get him to the playoffs, and they move on, Daniel Jones will get a job, but he will be a backup quarterback. Right?
Most likely.
Yeah, he's going to be somebody's backup quarterback. I mean, if you look around the league of backup quarterbacks, Daniel Jones sure as hell is a backup quarterback in this league. Yes.
Sure, yeah.
So I guess Dak is in that. Now, if you put it, show me, because either we're deciding, are you our guy for the next contract, or are we moving on next year? Yeah, I guess Dak falls.
Part of that too is we just assume he's going to get $60 million just because.
Dak?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's getting north of 45 million just because. Yeah. Yeah. To your point, if let's say he goes out and goes 8-9 this year, and they say, you know what, we're done. Seattle will sign him for $45 million. $50 million. Carolina might. How about Bryce Young? Is he on that list? I mean, I know it's really early, but he was.
Yes, Bryce Young is on that list. I look at it too as we put Baker Mayfield on the list.
Last year we did.
Didn't expect it. No, even before that, not even last year. Like his career, and it took him a little while. He can resurface. But I think some of these places, like their minds are already made up. Like if you're
like
Seattle,
New York, like
you're
the
New York,
Giants.
like all right, you hope you can be competitive, but you're not. Like they're not extending Daniel Jones again. Like there's much noise and smoke that was coming out. Like they weren't on Michael Penix, McCarthy, or Bo Nix, and I think for them,
what gets better next year? Free agency?
We don't know.
I know you don't know. Yeah.
Like, no one thought Drake May was going to be this dude. You really didn't. Like, he might have been on the list, but like top 3 pick, like that comes around.
I'll buy that. So you think the Giants of Seattle made up their mind next year they need a quarterback? I think that's probably right. You think Arizona's absolute on Kyler Murray, huh? I
do.
I think he's going to have a better year. I don't know that they're as sold as you think they are.
They
where
gave
the Raiders
dude
gonna do?
$160 million guaranteed.
They got
in there.
nowhere to go. Yeah, they got nowhere. Yeah, they got nowhere. Trevor Lawrence? No, right? Fair enough. I think Will Levis too. I think they need to see something there because I think Will Levis is going to be actually pretty good. I do. But this is a year for him because they went out and got him some weapons, man.
It's a first year he's getting a chance to do anything.
Yes, and they need to see something.
And I think that's a problem. That you give a guy 1 year and you're like, well,
okay, you don't have to get me to the playoffs. You have to show me progress. I'm going to know with a second round guy who was okay last year, showed me glimpses and showed me really bad spots. I went out and loaded you up.
Of course.
I want to know after this year, are you my guy moving forward? I don't have to win the division. But I need to see a big improvement in you. That's what I'm saying. Then I know that means win games. I get it. That's where I'm at. All right. PGA Championship tomorrow. You got favorites. And one of the favorites is on a streak right now. And it's pretty impressive considering everything he's been going through. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Hour.
Get ready to step into the...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here, and I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space, and you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Second major in golf's calendar starts tomorrow morning. Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler. Well, Scotty Scheffler's the favorite. Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm are up there. Opening drive, Jeff JJ, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. That's the phone line. And these texts on here at the Sports App. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. And JJ at sportsanimalabq.com.
Is Tua on your list? Tua Tagovailoa?
Probably should be.
Prove it year.
Yeah, he's on my list. I just don't know if he's on the list. Does that make sense? I feel like they're committed to him. I know they haven't extended him, but I feel like they think he is the guy. So he would be on my list if I was making decisions, but I don't feel like he's on the list because I feel like they've decided he's the guy. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Like,
is he on your list?
No, Tua's like, that's the type of quarterback that I look at and go, do you want to win football games? Then you have to negotiate a fair deal with a player that can come to you and say, hey, I led the NFL in passing. I can be explosive in this offense. But then you, as the Miami Dolphins, you also say, we understand that.
But
Josh Allen is also your father. So we have to continue to put weapons around you because while you're good, you might not be that guy that can just elevate good wide receivers to great wide receivers. So it all has to work together. And that's the balance, the challenge in these quarterback conversations is finding the right fit. So I think the guys that you named, I'm a little lower. I think Kyler Murray and Will Levis both have kind of longer
leashes,
roads ahead of them. I think Daniel Jones is interesting because if you're Brian Daboll and like what, yeah, I don't know what they're looking at because I think we all believe. You look at Brian Daboll and go, man, he helped develop Josh Allen into what he has become. Just this rocket arm kid who couldn't complete a high percentage of passes come out of Wyoming. Now all of a sudden, one of the top 3 quarterbacks, just straight up in the NFL. You look at, is he finally getting his chance potentially next year to have a young quarterback, or what veteran free agent could that be? Because to your point of this conversation, and you bring it up and you say, who's on the hot seat, who's here, who's that? I look at, who are the names that have moved or lost opportunity? It's Mac Jones. It's Justin Fields. I guess.
Well, Zach Wilson,
but he lost it last year because Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, but he lost it because of the way he played. Right?
No, but I mean, that was already a year before. It wasn't last year.
Okay, so last
Aaron
year?
Rodgers was already brought in.
Desmond Ridder.
And I think some of these guys, that I think the writing's on the wall.
But who took advantage of it? Baker Mayfield, Jordan Love, right? I mean, there's guys that were in that position last year that solidified themselves.
I wouldn't have put Jordan Love in that position last year.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was going to be tough if he was garbage last year. It was going to be really tough on him in that franchise.
Yeah, I know because that's the way the NFL and
because of
this
where
world
he was
function
and who he was.
Of, well, you've sat there and watched football for 3 years. You should be great at it.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. The list we're talking about is the prove it list for quarterbacks going into this year. All right, a guy who's proven it is Rory McIlroy, and he's won his last 2 outings. And JJ, I know your life is all lollipops and roses, but when something's going on in your personal life, right, it affects what you do.
News to me.
No, I mean, I'm kidding. Right, when something's going on in your personal life, does it affect what you do professionally? Does it distract you? Does it? I mean, we're human beings, right? Rory McIlroy evidently has been going through a divorce, and his team confirmed that he and his wife of 7 years are getting divorced. He's 35 years old. They've got a 3-year-old daughter. I'm gonna guess, man, when you're on the road all the time and you got a child, and you know his wife Erica, they met at the 2012 Ryder Cup. He's been going through all that and playing some of his best golf. And maybe, sometimes you just focus on what you're doing professionally. I find that, what him and Scotty Scheffler are doing right now, Scheffler's wife just had a baby. They had their first kid. The fact that those 2 guys are playing so insanely well and they got all that going on at home, I find that even more impressive. I don't know where you are with that, but all of a sudden that's what broke him out of his slump. And I'm not saying that's not fair. He broke out of his slump whilst that was going on. That's not fair to say that's what broke him. He broke out and is playing with all that's going on. I've always been impressed by Rory. I've always been impressed by his demeanor, how he handles media, what he says. I like his calm demeanor on the golf course. I like he gets fired up periodically, but for the most part, he's an amazing stick. He hits the ball a mile. But I don't know. It to me, it's even more impressive because I've been through it with a young child. I know how tough it can be. By the way, his lawyer is the same lawyer that represented Tiger Woods. I don't know if it's like the guy shows up in court in a Nike suit, Nike hat. But hey, Tiger, who?
No, in the Sunday red.
I need help. Who's your guy? That's Thomas Sasser, of course. I don't know. It's just really, really impressive to me with everything that's gone through. Do you remember the name Michael Block?
That the dude who played in the major last year?
Yeah, the club pro from Orange County that like had the hole-in-one when he was playing with Rory in the final round and finished. I thought he finished way higher. Looking back, I guess he tied for 15th because he had fell back to reality, but he made $288,000. He's back this year. I'm kind of interested. Are you? Show me how Michael Block does. Now, he won't be on my card. You do a FanDuels on this? Or wherever you play those games?
You're not going Block 2.0?
I mean, I guess when you get down to that last guy and you low salary guy.
You're looking, can this dude give me a top 30?
Just make the cut. Can this dude just make the cut? I mean, he was like one of the best stories ever last year, wasn't he? Literally one of the best stories ever. Dude came out of nowhere, was at the top of the leaderboard. Gets a hole-in-one playing with Rory on Sunday at the PGA Championship. Like, where the hell did that come from? No, that was one of the best stories.
Telling you want that hole-in-one.
Yeah.
Talk about it forever.
Well, yeah. I've never had one, dude. I don't know that I ever will. I really don't know that I ever will. I'd love to break 80 again. It's been a minute. Breaking 70 would be. See, I'd rather break 70 to get a hole. That'll never happen. I'll never break 70.
And I think it's different with the circles you run in. Like people you talk to, that matters more.
Well, if you play more.
You play more.
I mean, you realize a hole in one's totally
just a
lucky.
Okay.
Yeah.
The better story to tell.
100% that I broke.
Dude,
70.
I shot 74.
Dude, and on the third, I chipped in and I lipped out a putt, and you're like, yeah. No, I had a hole in one. Oh, really?
And I don't care if I bounced off the tree, if I bounced off the cart path, if I hit the cart girl and then it went in, it goes in the hole.
I totally agree with that. I absolutely agree with that.
That's what I'm chasing. my entire life.
Give me one ace.
I could care less if I break 100. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Get a hole in one.
Yep. Give me one
Chasing
ace.
that.
All right.
Forever.
All right. 505-246-0610. Look at you. You found sportsbook over-unders for college football wins and losses. Is this right? Mountain West over-under win totals. Where do they have New Mexico?
We haven't had our conversations yet.
Well, we haven't gotten to Vegas yet. It's the opening drive. Where do you have the Lobos? Are you going over or under? Next on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Center.
Get ready to step into the ring of
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
We're like 3.5 months away from college football. But you can make bets now. I kind of feel like this is stealing, but every time I feel that way, I get beat. It's the opening drive, Jefferson Viana, JJ Buck. So FanDuel has already released their football win totals, right? So you can go on and bet overs and unders. For the Mountain West, the highest, and there's not a lot of respect here, obviously. The highest win total projection on FanDuel is Boise State. And it's only 8.5. Fresno State's only 7.5. And I looked at Boise State's schedule, and it's tough. They open up with Oregon, or at least they get Oregon. They get Georgia Southern first. By the way, on the road at Georgia Southern is no cake. But then they got to go to Oregon. They get Washington State and Oregon State, both at home. They have San Diego State, who finished at the bottom of the standings with the Lobos last year, at 4.5. But I look at this whole thing. We'll go through them. JJ, they got the Lobos at 1.5. That means they only believe, FanDuel just believes they'll beat Montana State and then lose the rest of their game. I mean, it feels like stealing to me. Now, after Montana State, they go on the road at Arizona, at Auburn. This is New Mexico's schedule. I mean, it's a brutal start. After Montana State, they go at Arizona, at Auburn, come home for Fresno State. They go to New Mexico State. They get Air Force. Bowl team, bowl team, bowl team, bowl team, bowl team, bowl team. Then they go to Utah State. I mean, it's a tough schedule. Then they go to Colorado State. They get Wyoming at home, at San Diego State, Washington State at home, and at Hawaii. It's a bear of a schedule.
It's going to be a hard year for the football team, but also kind of, I think, for the fan base to wrap their head around what they're going to see. There's only 5 home games.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the time away. That's going to be challenging, just in terms of like between the games when you get them. And so it's buying into the reset, the rebuild. Are you going to trust Bronco Mendenhall and all the things? We're not given all these cliches that they're throwing out there. Like, the fan base is going to have to embrace that and ride with it this season.
I guess it's the first time I really sat down and stared at the schedule. I mean, I looked at it when it first came out, and wow, it's really tough. But when FanDuel posts an over-under betting total of 1.5 wins, again, any team in America, I'm betting the over. Aren't you? I mean, that feels like stealing, doesn't it? And I don't make a bunch of bets, and you know, because if I do, although, gosh, we kept tracking football last year. We did the 3-for-all. I did pretty well.
Yes, you did.
They're going to win. I mean, what would, when you look at the schedule, I mean, they're going to win 3, 4, 5 games, right? Don't you think?
3, 4, 5 games.
You don't think that many? 3? I mean, we're looking at 3-9. Is that what you're thinking? 2-10? 1-11? Do you think they'll win the first one and go on an 11-game losing streak? I
think the challenge is it's not just with New Mexico. It's so many of these teams. It's really hard to have a good idea of what they're going to be with the amount of turnover. Because a lot of these teams, while you're excited, you're like, hey, we brought in player X. Well, player X is like a backup for the last 2 years at Power School Y, and that doesn't always translate to that. Well, that means they're going to be a good player at this level. It just, there's so much unknown. We need some of the eye test to figure this out. But you don't get that when you're making this decision right now on a win total.
The team they're expecting to make the big move is Colorado State, I guess. So the win totals, Boise State is the top of this list at 8.5. They were 8-6 last year. Fresno State is next at 7.5. They were 9-4 last year. UNLV, who went to the conference championship game, is at 7.5. They were 9-5 last year. Colorado State's at 6.5. They were 5-7, and Wyoming's at 6.5. And they won 9 games last year. So they're only projecting 5 bowl teams out of this league. Air Force, who won 9 games last year, is projected to only win 5.5 games. Another one that feels like stealing, doesn't it? Air Force's schedule is, I mean, I look at, they got Baylor on the road. They got Army and Navy. Oregon State comes to their place. why aren't they winning 6, 7, 8 games? Merrimack, San Jose State, Navy. I look at it. Utah State 5.5, San Jose State 5.5, Hawaii 4.5, San Diego State 4.5, Nevada 2.5, and New Mexico 1.5. It's just crazy. I'm glad you put these together because I look at them and I'm just like, hey, we're going to do these, and every time we do them, JJ, we do them when we come back, and out of 11 or 12 of these, because we do New Mexico State too, what do we get, 4 right on an average? We're not really good at this.
These ones are tough.
Yeah, we're not really good. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610 if you're still paying a toll. Emails this morning, they're coming in, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. Lobo Hobo says, if Lobo football wins 1.5, it's going to be an ugly fall in the OD, Jeff.
Dude, right now,
yeah,
I'm just kind of looking at a quick overview.
Yeah.
That is the lowest
in America?
In America, in Division I football.
So FanDuel thinks the Lobos are going to be the worst team in America.
Yes, Vanderbilt, 2.5.
But they're playing the SEC and they're playing Alabama and Tennessee.
Vanderbilt 2.5, Nevada 2.5, Temple 2.5.
So the Lobos have the lowest win total in America?
Yes.
Here's the deal. I don't know. Like practices, it's not like we were able to go out and just watch. Do you have any idea of all the guys that left and came in? Do you have any idea how good they're going to be? Like you say they're not going to be good. They had a turnover. They got a new coaching staff. Hell, they could come out and be pretty decent with all the new guys. That's why I look at these things. They're so arbitrary sometimes because with the roster turnover at 30 to 40 to 50 guys per roster all over America, not just here. This is such a crapshoot to me. You know what I'm saying?
It is even more difficult than it was.
Right. I'm going to bet the over. I don't normally, but at 1.5, dude, I feel like I just got to bet the over. Basically, what they're telling you is they're going to beat Montana State and lose 11. Look, do I think they're going to Auburn or Arizona and win it? I probably don't. No. But is there a game the rest of that way that they can win? I mean, or 2 or 3? Is Colorado State that damn good? San Diego State's not very good. So from what everybody's telling me. Nevada? Do they play Nevada? Where's the schedule? They don't. Hawaii at the end of the year? But it is a tough start. New Mexico. What's New Mexico State going to be? What's New Mexico State's win total?
So last year,
yeah,
there's only one team
in America
that won 1 game.
Who was that?
Kent State.
That was my guess. Yeah. I mean, the odds tell you I'm going higher. Do you see New Mexico State's win total on there? I'm going to guess they got them at 4.5. Because their schedule, Southeast Missouri, then they got Liberty, then they got to go to Fresno State. Those are 2 tough ones. And then at Sam Houston, they get the Lobos. Jacksonville State, Rich Rod is good. Louisiana Tech, FIU, Western Kentucky, Texas A&M in November. Middle Tennessee, and they'll close with Utah. And they should close with you. I love the fact that they're closing with that rivalry game now that it's a conference game. I love the fact that they're doing that. You see a win total on them at all? It's something else. Right? And the other NCAA college football stuff as we go.
I don't know if they've actually released all of them yet.
Okay. All right.
Because I don't see Conference USA on here.
By the way, the home games, so the Mountain West games that are going to be played at Washington State and Oregon State will be on the CW and Fox Sports. That's where you'll be able to find those. So like Fox, probably FS1 a lot. There's 13 games, I guess, and they'll be on the CW. So the CW is really trying to become a player. All right, 505-246-0600. We'll wrap up everything that we went through today. There was a lot. What you need to know as you go through your Wednesday and a bunch of your correspondence when we get back. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Hour.
This is Boomer.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part,
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet? Does
Blanco, or as Ralph called him, Sheetstro Blanco, got tossed last night for substance on his glove. According to Ralph, ironic, he will be suspended longer than the team that trash canned their way to a championship, never to be forgotten. This is Dodger fan. Astros starter Ronel Blanco ejected at the start of the fourth inning last night. Astros beat the A's 2-1. Umpires found a foreign substance, one of them called the stickiest stuff I've felt on a glove. You know how they do those checks at the end of their routine now. Third base umpire Laz Diaz ejected him. They checked his glove. He threw him out of the game. They all stood around. The glove was confiscated. First base umpire Eric Backus ran off the field with it, took it wherever he takes it. And it was evidently it's going to the commissioner's office. There was nothing on the glove when they checked it in the middle of the first, but they did it on the second check in the fourth. Quote from Backus, I felt something inside the glove. It was the stickiest stuff I've felt on a glove since we've been doing this for a few years now. Everybody checked the glove to make sure we all have the same thing and had to get ejected because he had a foreign substance on his glove. So evidently, JJ, what happened is they checked it after the first day. I guess he felt he was clean. All right, I passed my drug test. Now I can go get high. And that's analogous, isn't it? And then so he loaded up his glove. Okay.
I think that puts his no-hitter he threw into doubt.
Well, they checked his glove then. Alex Bregman hit a home run last night, by the way, in the win. He's been scuffling, but he had a big home run.
Just trying to hold on to a baseball, man. Guys can't grip a baseball.
Well, look.
Blowing out their elbows.
I walk the line on this. I still don't get it why I need something on my hands to grip a baseball. I mean, so this is a necessary, what you're telling me and what pitchers say is this is a necessary aid to be a pitcher, right?
Why do they have rosin bags?
Okay.
Tie it off to get it a little tack.
So why is that not enough?
Maybe you just sweat it a lot. And it was an accident.
Yeah, that's right. All right, this came down this morning. Netflix is where you will watch Christmas games in the NFL. Did you know that? Netflix will air 2 games Christmas Day. At least 1 game on Christmas each of the next 2 years. The matchups aren't announced. They'll come out later tonight. But it will be a Wednesday, Christmas Day doubleheader for Netflix. So I'm going to guess.
Peacock, Amazon.
And now
Netflix.
Mm-hmm. You see where this is going? You got to get them all, too. Well, that's the crazy part. So you've got to subscribe to Peacock. You've got to subscribe to Amazon.
Netflix isn't messing around, man. They've been cracking down on you and 8 of your friends having 1 password.
Okay.
Like, it's going to be hard to watch this game on Christmas.
All I'm telling you is, well, unless you have Netflix.
No one has Netflix. 1 person has Netflix and 28 people use it.
That's probably right.
That's why I've been cracking down on it.
And they're going to crack down harder now that they need to recoup this money. So you have to have your subscription to watch. So the Monday night games are on ESPN. There'll be the Sunday afternoon games that are on over-the-air TV. If that's your thing, right? You get CBS and Fox. Sunday night games are on NBC. You can still watch those. Monday night games are on ESPN.
NFL.
Well, you're getting
back off.
Well,
give me my Wednesday, Christmas Day.
You'll get it. You just got to watch Netflix.
I'm going down that road now. Like, this is ridiculous.
This is the one that put you over the top? That's fair.
Like, now it's Netflix I have to get.
You got to get Netflix, Peacock,
and then the next one is
Amazon
going to be
Prime.
Apple TV.
I think that's probably right. Yeah. Yeah, and so you got to subscribe to all of these things.
Cut the cord and save money.
No.
You just cut the cord and you don't get to watch half the thing.
And if you didn't cut the cord, it's killing you because you got to buy all these other subscriptions. So if you have DirecTV and then I got to get Netflix and I got to get Amazon Prime and I got to get Peacock to watch all these games.
Yeah, you're right back where you were.
If not more. Yeah. So that came down this morning. The full schedule of the NFL is coming out tonight at 6 o'clock. They'll have a 2-hour special to announce it. But
This is a Wednesday. Christmas is Wednesday.
I know. The NFL on Christmas has become a tradition. Has it? I mean, it will be.
It will be now.
It will be, but now, I mean, they're taking over Christmas. But like
Wednesday.
I know.
Not
dude.
Thursday.
I got it.
Not Friday.
It's going to screw up your whole fantasy football thing, too.
Wednesday.
And that's playoffs, man. We're talking about playoffs. Not a game.
Who do they think they are? The MAC?
Yeah, I think they do. They're the Conference USA. They are. See, so all of you who bag on the Aggies for playing on a Wednesday, freaking NFL plays on Wednesday also. See? But
they found a way to push me over the top. They found a way to get me to agree with the water on the rocks people.
I wonder if
they found a way to do it.
I'm going to guess you're not the only one, dude. I'm going to guess you're not the only one. That this whole thing, Netflix and Peacock and Amazon, like, I know they think they're impenetrable, that nothing can touch the NFL, but people are going to find our product, they're going to buy it, they're going to buy it, they're going to buy it. Are they?
If you're coming to my house on Christmas, you best have a Netflix account.
Yeah, but can they sign in on your TV? And here's what people are talking about. They're going to be talking about that, I promise. Nuggets beat the Wolves last night, 112-97. Nikola Jokic was tremendous. 40 points, 7 rebounds, 13 assists. He abused Rudy Gobert, the defensive player of the year. Aaron Gordon had 18 and 10. Nuggets are up 3 games to 2. They'll go back to Minneapolis for game 3. Knicks were winners last night. They beat the Pacers 121-91. Jalen Brunson had 44 points in the 30-point romp for the Knickerbockers, who will take a 3-2 lead back to Indianapolis. And Caitlin Clark made her WNBA debut. She had 20 points, 10 turnovers. Her team, the Indiana Fever, got beat by 21. They lost to the Connecticut Sun 92-71. Lobos have signed or at least got a commitment from, a 6'6" swing, Ibrahima Sakho, a African player from Georgia Tech, played his freshman season at Georgia Tech, played college ball in Canada. That will fill the 13th and final scholarship, at least for now. JT Toppin had a double-double at the NBA Combine, the only player with a double-double. He was impressive yesterday. They'll do it again today. And Bronny James said, I don't necessarily want to play with my dad. I just want to play in the NBA. I don't want to be known as LeBron James' son. I want to be known as Bronny James. Did I miss anything? As far as what you need to know as you go through your day? I think that's right. Bill says, meanwhile at the Monument. Jeff, I want you to think way back to 2018. When giving up 900 points in a season, the PCL was unthinkable. Mediocrity, I suppose, is on pace to give up 600 plus in the first half. How much is pitchers not having to play anymore? How much is the pitchers not having to play anymore? How much is they don't travel to defensive-friendly builds like New Orleans and Memphis anymore? And how much is just bad defense? So what he's saying is everybody's got a designated hitter. I don't think everybody's doing this. I think it's just this team, right? I think it was 16 more last night, right?
Don't look now. The Rockies are coming.
Yeah.
6 in a row.
If you got a pitcher that's worth anything, he's going up. Just saying. Ron says all ODIs will definitely be on the Big Cat, Jeff, this time tomorrow. He'll already be making the turn at Valhalla. That's correct. Maurice says, am I the only one in town that doesn't give a rat's ass about Dickie P versus Ricky P, Jeff? That's Richard Pitino versus
you are.
Rick Pitino. Especially if it's on a Sunday versus my football. Do they have an 11 a.m. local post time so they aren't going up against the NFL? Well, they're going to be up against the NFL then. I'm going to guess it's going to be late afternoon. I don't know when they'll play that in New York. You might be the only one in town that doesn't care, yeah. Especially as we get close. Yeah, you might be. I mean, it's kind of a big deal. And the Lobos, look, what the Lobos have done to really try to upgrade their schedule. They're playing in a different type of multi-team event. They're going to play St. John's. The VCU home and home should help them.
Like that series?
Yeah, I like it. So, yeah, probably you are the only one in town, Maurice.
Well, now they can finally matter because they're playing in New York. And nothing exists outside of New York. So they will finally exist.
Especially at the Mecca, the greatest arena ever made. You ever been to Madison Square Garden? It's nice. I mean, it's impressive. It's cool. It really is. I mean, it's not like any other arena, but was it the greatest arena ever? Sacrilege to say it's not, right? Especially if you're talking to someone who's got an accent. All right, what am I watching tonight? I gotta have hoops tonight, don't I? I get Cleveland and Boston. Boston trying to close them out, and Dallas on the road at Oklahoma City. It's 2-2. Good stuff today. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd will be after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. Isotopes baseball against Sugarland. After that, and then we're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning. We'll start at 7 a.m. Adrian looks great on the visuals. Thank you. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind and loving and caring and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Shot past the pitcher. Huge. Just like that, the Hawks go up by 1 run. Oh man, is that a shot or what? Oh, just like that. That'll bring in another run. As Sanchez Reynolds touches the plate. And that one fires away. That one's flying high. Bye-bye. Seth Galfano goes right to center field.